All right, everyone. So today I wanted to talk about what is probably going to be the most important thing in Raid Shadow Legends, at least when you look at your account in the grand scheme of things, and that is, what is the roadmap of where I should be taking my account? Where should I be progressing? What should I be putting my efforts into? Who should I be 6-starring next? And how should I balance my efforts so that I don't make big mistakes and focus in the wrong aspects of the game? And this is a major mistake, and as I will start off the video, I'll share with you guys what I believe to be one of the biggest mistakes that I think most people make in Raid Shadow Legends. Definitely a major mistake that I struggled with when I first started. I constantly see newer players making it, and honestly even advanced players struggle with this too. And that is the major mistake of don't try to become perfect at one thing right away. You are really going to hold yourself back if you decide to do this. And not only are you going to miss out a lot of the game, but you're really not going to balance your efforts very well. You're going to get a lot more out of the game, not only in terms of rewards, but just overall in enjoyment if you know how to balance your resources and efforts the right way. And that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. So this video isn't just going to be who should you 6-star next. I'm not going to give specific champion names because of course certain people, you guys might not have the exact champions that I mentioned, but this should give you a general arc of where you want to take your account in Raid Shadow Legends and what areas you want to focus on next. So let's start off with the first thing. If you guys are newer, this is something that you should be working on. If you're more intermediate or advanced, this is probably something that you've already done already, but you will definitely want a decent campaign farmer. Now, very important that I say decent, because by decent, I do not mean great. You do not need an 8-second campaign farmer that one-shots every single wave and can clear through a brutal 12-3 or 12-6 instantly. You don't need somebody who is a god with god gear or anything of that nature. They just need to be decent. As long as they can clear the campaign and farm it in under a minute, even 2 minutes reliably, if they're not dying, if you're not losing efficiency by losing experience by actually failing the battles, that is totally okay. In fact, I would say it's probably more important that you're in line with that, and that this campaign farmer that you make can also help you out in other aspects of the game. That's probably more important than having somebody who is super speedy right away. And that is because this first level 60 is really going to help you out in so many different aspects of the game. This is why I always say, especially as newer players, Kale is just an absolutely phenomenal starter champion that is absolutely going to be worth taking to 6 stars. He's just so good because not only is he a good campaign farmer, but his skill kit is great for so many other aspects of the game. He's going to do a pretty significant amount of damage in the clan boss. He could definitely hold his weight in the dungeons, and even in arena, honestly, because he has a solid AoE, his second ability right here, if you build him up properly, he can actually perform pretty well in the arena as well. So he's a very versatile champion. He's not absolutely amazing at one thing in particular, but he can do a lot of things pretty well, and that's definitely the kind of champion that you should be aiming for right away. And if you focus on specializing on one thing way too hard early on, you're really going to struggle to catch up in a lot of other areas of the game. So there are other champions like Kale as well. Honestly, I would say any of the starting champions, Gaelic, Elhine, Aethel. I apologize again if the pronunciations are not great. That's something me and Chofli Mobile struggle with quite a bit. But, you know, any of those champions are fantastic and are really going to help you out get through the game in a much more smooth fashion. So that's what I would focus on first. Now, second, this is very important, and I want to emphasize because this is definitely something that a lot of people get wrong. So you're going to want a decent arena team after you kind of have that first versatile champion that can farm the campaign but can also do other things. But this decent arena team, it does not need to be great. You do not need a god tier arena team. You don't need insanely good legendaries or honestly even insanely good epics. You could just have a solid team of rare champions. You know, there are certain champions like Spirit Host which are going to be absolutely phenomenal at this stage of the game because they just offer so much. They bring so much to the table. And she also has a speed aura. Again, it's not amazing, but this is one of those crucial things that you're going to want in the arena. She has an attack buff, again, going to be very nice. And as long as you can use the arena system to refresh the battles every 15 minutes, it's going to be more of a focus of just knowing how the arena system works early on rather than actually building a godly team. You have one refresh that you get for free every 15 minutes. All you have to do is utilize this, log into the game frequently, use your refreshes, and as you climb the arena, just look for those teams that are going to be easier, or just kind of look for teams that you feel like maybe they've been abandoned. And this is something that you do not need a perfect team for, especially if you're still, in bronze or silver, and honestly, probably even the earlier stages of gold. So you can use this advantage of refreshing every 15 minutes to climb through the tiers. And I know some people are already asking the question, or at least thinking about it. So are you saying that arena is more important than clan boss at the start? Is that further up on your list of account priorities than the clan boss? And the answer to that is yes, simply because it takes some time as you are a newer player in order to climb through the arena. You're going to start off in bronze 1 in the earlier tiers, and it's going to take some time, probably several weeks, for you to get the arena tokens and the resources to climb through the tiers. So you want to work on getting this started earlier on rather than later. If you skip this out entirely, then you're going to be stuck in the lower stages a lot later on in the game than you need to be. So the earlier stages are not necessarily about the actual champions that you have. It's more just about refreshing and learning how to use the system to get you to climb those tiers. So that's why I have it in my personal list above the clan boss. But that leads us into the next topic, which is going to be clan boss. So now that you have a versatile campaign farmer and an okay arena team, remember, you can also end up using that versatile campaign farmer in your arena team and probably even in your clan boss team. That's the advantage of having a champion like Kale as one of your first level 60s. But now your focus is going to be clan boss, and this is still definitely something that you're going to want to work on sooner rather than later, because every single day you are going to be getting those clan boss chests, and these are free rewards that are going to be helping your account progress. You definitely don't want to completely be skipping out and not using your arena keys. I mean, free stuff is better than, nothing at all. But the arena team climb is also important because that's going to take several weeks to go through. So now that you are working on your clan boss team, though, it's also very important that as you slowly progress and as you start doing more and more damage, the very first clan that you join is probably just going to be doing the easy chests, maybe the normal chests. If you're really lucky or you have a friend, you might be able to get in a clan where they're starting off at the hard chests. But for a lot of newer players, your clan is probably not going to be doing the more advanced chests. And it's very important to know that as you get further into the game, as you 6-star more champions, and as you progress your account more, you're going to be able to start doing higher clan content, and you don't want to cap yourself off by staying in a newbie clan for too long. So either grow with your clan and help your clan out and kind of help them progress forward, or if you don't really see that happening, you have to make that decision, even though it might be difficult, to move to a clan where you're actually going to be benefiting from the amount of damage that you do. If you're doing a lot of damage and you're able to get the highest difficulty chests on hard and brutal, you don't want to be in a clan who's still stuck on easy and normal. So definitely keep that in mind. And that's another mistake that I personally made. Honestly, I still struggle with it a little bit because I really love all the people in my clan, but I think I'm getting close to that point where it might be time to move on. And I could definitely see how this is definitely a bit of a struggle for a lot of people, especially when you do find a clan that you really feel attached to. But for your account progress, that's definitely going to be an important one. Alright, so now that we focused on a versatile champion for the campaign, we focused on an arena team that can at least get stuff done even if we're using the refresh every 15 minutes, and we've got a clan boss team, now we can actually go back and wrap back to the campaign farmer and kind of work on that, because we're just using a versatile campaign farmer that's probably not going to be farming super speedy, but that's not the #1 priority. A really important point to make is it doesn't matter whether you do the campaign in 8 seconds, 20 seconds, 60 seconds, it costs 8 energy anyway, so that's really going to be your bottleneck resource. Obviously, if you're a whale and you can spam refreshes all day long and energy means nothing to you, that's a different story. But for most people, it doesn't really mean a whole lot of a difference if you're farming the campaign in 8 seconds versus 15 seconds, because you're still going to be limited on energy either way. But at least at this point, you'll be able to maybe shave your time down from 2 minutes, 90 seconds, 60 seconds. You might be able to get down to 30 seconds, 45 seconds, something along those lines, and that definitely will help out. It'll make the gameplay at least a bit smoother, and you know, it's definitely something that you will want to wrap back to work around. But absolutely don't feel, even at this point, like you have to get an 8-second campaign farmer, because that is absolutely not true. But you're going to be 6-starring a lot of champions, because now we've kind of moved on from the earlier parts of the game. Now we're going to be moving on to more advanced stuff, like climbing the different levels in dungeons, and now starting to get into things like faction wars. So you're going to be having to fill a lot of roles, which means you're going to be having to 6-star a lot of champions, and you're going to be spending a lot of time in the campaign farming food, getting experience. So this is something you can kind of get back to now. All right, so dungeons. This is kind of the point now where climbing dungeons is going to start to take a priority. So it's not until you have a decent campaign farmer, you've kind of sorted out your arena team, and you've sorted out a clan boss team to where you can go back and really start to work on dungeon progression. It's totally fine if you've gotten to, like, you know, stage 13 or so at this point, if you've done a little bit, but you don't really want to push for stage 20s until you've kind of done all the things that we've talked about in the video so far. But now you want to focus on the higher stages, and as you do this, you're going to need to fill some very specific roles. And in order to fill those specific roles, you're going to need to 6-star a lot of champions. So when it comes to level 20 dungeons, there's things that are very key, like having the right buffs and debuffs are very important. That's why champions with good buffs and debuffs are going to be way better than champions that don't really offer that kind of stuff. You're also going to want good support as well. Survivability is key. This is always why defensive-based champions are going to, generally speaking, be better than attack-based champions as you get to this part of the game, is because Dungeon 20s, things hit really hard, and attack-based champions are very squishy, and they're just going to die, and of course a dead champion does no DPS at all. So these things are all very important in line with that DPS, and this means lots of champions are going to be 6-starred, so this is kind of that point in the game where you're working on, you know, now pushing dungeons and also working on increasing the stats and the gear of the champions that you have as well. And now that you're working on all of this, your arena team is probably still going to be struggling. You know, at least at this point, though, because you started off your arena team early on, it was one of the first things that you worked on, you'll hopefully be able to push through bronze, silver, and, you know, maybe even gold 1, 2. You might be in the earlier to mid stages of gold. You've taken that time to be able to use the arena system, and now this is kind of the point where you can go back and refine your arena team. You should always be working on your clan boss team as well. Go back and improve your damage. Try to get to as high of clan chests as you can. Make sure, of course, that you're not staying in the clans that are holding you back, and all of the things that we've been doing so far will just be snowballing at this point and really progressing your account forward quite a bit. And this is really when you get to the true stages of Endgame, now that you're working on pushing the highest stages of dungeons, getting to the top clan chests, really pushing for, you know, high tier gold arena and winning as many battles as you can. Now you can actually focus on things like faction wars, where you really just need an insane amount of 6-star champions, because every faction, of course, has its own faction war. You can only use champions. And the good news is all the champions that you've been using from things like the arena, clan boss, pushing dungeon stage 20s, at least you'll have some of those roles filled for faction wars, but this really should not be your #1 priority until you get to this point. You can still push the earlier stages with the champions that you've 6-starred already, but I would absolutely not 6-star champions exclusively for faction wars until you've gotten to this point of the game. I would already be at that point where you're farming, you know, high tier clan chests, you're in a decent stage of gold arena, and you're farming stage 20 dungeons, and now you can really start to 6-star champions exclusively for faction wars. And this is just kind of like the life cycle of progression overall in Raid Shadow Legends. So, you know, as I mentioned, I don't really want to get too into detail with mentioning specific champions, at least not in this video. This is just kind of like the general overall arc of how to move your account forward, and I'm really hoping that this video helped you guys out. So don't forget that #1 mistake as well when it comes to account progression. Don't focus on being perfect at one thing right away. I know this is something that's a very easy trap to fall into. I've done it, but you're really going to get yourself in trouble if you end up doing this. So thanks again for watching, everyone. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I hope this video helped out. And if you guys enjoyed this video and you want more videos like this in the future, consider subscribing. Feel free to toss a quick like as well. It means more than you can imagine. And more Raid Shadow Legends videos, guides, tutorials, and all that fun stuff should be popping up on the screen right about now. Feel free to check them out. But if not, until next time, this is Salt of the Salty Guild, signing out.